I had moved into the apartment complex just weeks ago, excited for my new job in the city. The independence was exhilarating, new friends, new places, but the loneliness that crept in at night was undeniable. One evening, I sat by my window, absent-mindedly watching the street below, when something caught my eye. In the apartment directly across from mine, a tall silhouette stood by the window. The room behind it was dim, swallowing the details, but I could tell it was a man. He didn't move. Feeling an odd compulsion, I raised a hesitant hand in an awkward wave. No response. He just stood there, staring. A chill ran down my spine. Uncomfortable, I shut my window and turned away. For the next few nights, the figure remained. Every time I glanced over, he was there. Still. Watching. This wasn't a trick of the light or a passing shadow. Someone was standing there, night after night, facing my window. Dread settled in my chest. I decided to ask my real estate agent, who had arranged most of the rentals in the complex. He brushed off my concerns with an easy laugh. That flat? It belongs to the Stevens, a father and his teenage daughter. The guy's friendly. Maybe he just smokes by the window. That didn't explain the stillness, the unwavering stare. The unease gnawed at me until I couldn't take it anymore. That evening, I knocked on the door of the apartment. A man in his mid-40s answered. Behind him, loud music blared from one of the rooms. I introduced myself and hesitantly mentioned the figure in the window. He blinked and then chuckled. Oh, that? Wait here. A moment later, he returned, dragging a life-size cardboard cutout of a famous TV star. My daughter's obsessed with him. Got it for her birthday, he said with a shrug. I'll put up the curtains if it's bothering you. I forced a chuckle, muttered something about it being fine, and then left. But the interaction left me unsettled still. He had been polite, sure, but something felt off. He never invited me in. Days passed. I avoided my window entirely, pulling my curtains shut to block out the eerie silhouette. But one night, as I scrolled through my phone, a breaking news alert made my breath catch. A serial killer long on the run had been spotted at a nearby subway station. His last known victim, a 15-year-old girl, had vanished months ago. She had been his student, just like the two others before her. Their bodies had been found in the woods, but until now, no one had linked the cases. A former neighbor of the girl had recognized the man at the subway and tipped off the police. I clicked on the article. The screen loaded. A picture appeared. My blood ran cold. It was Mr. Stevens. My fingers shook as I dialed the police. The next few hours blurred. They told me to stay put. At midnight, a detective knocked on my door. My real estate agent stood beside him, pale as a ghost. I explained everything, how I had first noticed the cutout, how I had met Stevens. The detective listened, his face unreadable. He didn't respond right away. Instead, he exhaled sharply and then gave a small nod. We found this in the apartment, the detective finally said. Figured you should see it. From the shadows of my dimly lit corridor, an officer stepped forward, holding the same cutout Stevens had shown me. But now, something was different. Bold red letters had been scrawled across the figure's chest. "Help me." My stomach dropped. She knew I had seen the cutout. So she had written on it her last desperate attempt to escape and placed it by the window, hoping someone would notice. I had noticed. And I had shut my curtains. Beneath it, in a steadier, mocking scrawl, there was another message. "If only you had looked closer." I haven't opened my curtains since that night. The police cleared the apartment after a few days. No one ever came to claim what was left behind. No family, no friends. Just silence. No one has rented it since. And yet, sometimes, in the dead of night, when the city is quiet and my room is swallowed in darkness, I swear I see a shadow standing there, watching, waiting, like the shadow of my regret that will never leave. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. A quick shout out to my patrons: Melissa Perez, Lawrence Wallen, Eric Cifuentes, Jesse Hartley, Icy Narrates, Alonzo, Cupcake Hips, William Hartley, Rinku Star, Austin My Love, Mr. Sankofa, Seven Cities Journalist, and Ellie Hutmeyer. As usual, guys, I put a link to charity in the description. I'm going to keep it on the LA fires for a hot minute, but I will include other charities a little bit after. I understand that the fires are now no longer big news, but I would still like for the victims of the fires to receive help rebuilding their lives. And as I have been saying, even if that includes you unsubscribing from my Patreon for a while just so that you have something to donate to them, I highly encourage that, and I will not be offended. And as usual, feel free to reach out to me on any social media. Let me know how I can be praying for you, and I am more than happy to do that for you. God bless you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.